What's up, you guys? Welcome to the April 23rd edition of NBA 3-Ball presented by Established to Run. I'm your host, Mike Gallagher. Getting ready to break down a teeny tiny Thursday slate after the mega Wednesday we had in the last edition. I'm not going 17 minutes this time, guys. I promise. We are going to keep it at 10 minutes. 10 minutes, I'm telling you. In this edition, hit the thumbs up and subscribe, please. Going to start with the Trae Young news. We've got a little bit of an update. It's a grade 2 ankle sprain. Looks like he's going to miss multiple games, at least a couple. So we'll see how much more he misses beyond that. He's obviously pretty durable. He bounces back from ankle sprains pretty quickly, but going to miss some time here. So moving forward, really the two key guys certainly are Brandon Goodwin and Lou Williams. I think Brandon Goodwin's a little bit more prone to having a bad game. So I think if I had to only have one guy, I'd probably take Lou, but it's like really close. If you want, it's a ceiling floor thing. So if you want the ceiling, Goodwin. If you want the floor, Lou will. And then obviously Herter would benefit a little bit as well. Bogdan, we saw Bogdan handle the ball. Nate McMillan really talked up Kevin Herter for being so consistent. They use him for defense a lot, so certainly expect a big bump for Herter. John Collins did have a minutes cap on him last game, so he would also have a little bit more offensive responsibility. But really, the big headline here for the Hawks, their offense falls apart. With Trae Young, they have a 117.30 rating versus a 104. So 13 points per 100 possessions is a big dip. So the Hawks may have a little bit tougher scoring some points. Let's get to the basketball action, and starting with the Celtics beating the Suns. No Jaylen Brown for that shoulder injury I mentioned before. May miss another one here. We don't really know much. He kind of didn't get ruled out to just before, so maybe it'll be game time. But anyway, Kemba Walker was the story here. 32 points on fantastic shooting. Just confident all night. Took 11 threes. Looked like kind of peak Charlotte Kemba. Love to see that. Probably expecting him to sit on the back-to-back, getting 37 minutes. Brad Stevens has said he doesn't like playing him that much. He wants to play him 32, 33 most nights. So, playing him 37 minutes makes him even more likely to sit out. So you're going to see Marcus Smart start at the point. Probably see Romeo Langford, who played 32 minutes, didn't even really guard the big dogs. He was kind of guarding Cameron Johnson, didn't do anything offensively either, so not really much of a pickup, especially if those two guys sit out. We'll probably see a little more Semi Ojeleye, who surprisingly only played 6 minutes to me, and then Jason Tatum got locked down by Mikal Bridges. 2 games in a row, he's kind of done that. Tristan Thompson also soaring in minutes with 34 of those. Robert Williams probably not close yet. Suns dropped this one. Yeah, back-to-back. I think it's as simple as that. Probably one of Booker's worst games of the year. Fouled out, turned the ball over a bunch. Just bad game from him. Cameron Johnson started. Didn't really do anything with that playing time. 3 of 11, no threes. Just, didn't have it today. Mikal Bridges really goes all out here. 45 minutes with just everybody else running out of gas. Chris Paul also 38 minutes here to kind of overcompensate with the Booker foul trouble. But, other than that, let this one go. Chalk it up to a schedule loss. Magic dropped this one. No Wendell Carter Jr., no James Ennis, no Michael Carter Williams, no Terrence Ross. Before the game, actually, Steve Clifford said that in order of returning, it would be Ennis first, then Ross, then MCW for what that's worth. Don't know much about Wendell Carter Jr. Actually got talked up before the game from Clifford, so certainly think it may only be a one-game thing. Got Mo Bamba starting. I played a lot. Yeah, he was ticking it for close to 30 minutes, if not the garbage time factor. Didn't play all that great here. Chuma Okeke also just horrendous game, 1 of 12. They are giving him shots, but he just didn't have it today. And Steve Clifford, for the last handful of games here, he's been running straight 10-man with their backups like Dante Hall backed up, Mo Bamba, etc., etc. Bobby Hot Dogs, a.k.a. Robert Franks, backing up Chuma Okeke. But yeah, this team's bad. Bucks get the win. Really nothing to say with them. Giannis certainly looks like he's back. He had that cramping issue in overtime of the last game. But yeah, 35 minutes. Looks like he's kind of healthy. We'll see if they treat him in back-to-backs. I would expect they hold him out there. Other than that, the starters besides Dante DiVincenzo held it down. Bobby Portis big time off the bench after he kind of went away, so I wouldn't read too much into that one. 76ers, no Ben Simmons again with an illness. Did not even travel. Really tough if you have him in the fantasy playoffs. Shake Milton, who was playing rough, he had one of his best games, really needed this one. Well, it was almost kind of falling into the last man in the rotation kind of a thing, but that was great to see from him. George Hill got the start, still around the 20-minute mark, didn't do too much ball handling as they kind of just dumped it to Embiid. Tobias Harris, a little bit more point guardy, which we know Doc Rivers is okay with that. But yeah, expect Ben to be back. Nice to see Joel Embiid play in both ends of a back-to-back set here. But yeah, the Bucks, kind of defended him straight up. Didn't really do any funky stuff. Didn't want to tip their hand for the playoffs. So we'll see how these teams will face each other again too. Spurs get the win, and I got to pat myself on the back. Conspiracy Gallagher comes through. Said I saw some quotes about DeMar possibly resting today that didn't even say it, with Lonnie Walker stepping in, and I got it right. Yes. More of those conspiracy Gallagher takes in the Establish the Run DFS show if you're into the Gallagher conspiracy takes. But yeah, Lonnie, 33 minutes, handled the ball a little bit, looked pretty good. Derek White, good game from him. Nothing really to say besides that. Expect DeMar DeRozan to be back, Patty Mills to be back, DeJounte Murray also to be back. It was all just rest. DeJounte resting killed me in one of my matchups. Pistons dropped this one. Lots of rest here. No Jeremy Grant, no Corey Joseph, no Mason Plumlee were the big ones, no Wayne Ellington as well. Hamidou Diallo's not getting minutes. That's kind of my big takeaway there. Frank Jackson is. Sekou Doumbouya got the start, didn't do anything with that playing time either. Tyler Cook, I thought Tyler Cook was going to start, but outplays Doumbouya minutes-wise. These guys will be back, but keep in mind, these guys are going to rest people on back-to-back, so keep that in mind if you ever see Pistons that you want to pick up. Bulls get the win. Really good game from Kobe White. Billy Donovan talked about how the game was slowing down for him. That was really nice to see after he kind of took shots at him. Not directly, but just not kind of growing into the point guard role. But, he looked comfortable there. Got the ball to Vooch, which is what they need to do. Patrick Williams, still not shooting it a lot. Was also going through a personal issue, so hope everything's okay with him. We'll make any guesses why. Daddy Young also really good off the bench here. But nothing really to take away from here with Zach LaVine still expected to miss a couple more games at least. Hornets dropped this one. Their offense looks so bad when they're not really humming, which is rare. But yeah, headline here certainly is PJ Washington, 13 minutes. Checked in a little normally. First rotation got cut a little bit short and then started the second half. And then the game was basically over. So Vernon Carey, who played 15 minutes, almost 10 of those were in the fourth quarter. So Carey was pretty much set for that first stint goodbye, like he's been getting. Borrego said he's important for Carey to finish the season strong. But yeah, really nothing going on here. Jalen McDaniels getting all of the fourth quarter minutes, getting up to 31. Not a great game from him either. I am expecting rest from one of the Hornets, possibly Terry Rozier. Mavs get the win. That's the good news. The bad news is Kristaps Porzingis rolls his ankle, does not return. I don't think it looked terrible, but you'd think given it's Porzingis, he's probably missing Saturday. And then you're looking at 5 games for the Mavericks after that, so a couple back-to-backs mixed in there. So he's probably missing at least one of those. On top of that, maybe he was considering getting rested, according to Rick Carlisle, but they did play him. So keep an eye on that. Obviously, Willie Cauley-Stein is the guy that sticks out here with Maxi Kleber not playing. It's 31 minutes. Certainly matchup-driven there. I would expect him to get a lot of minutes again against the Lakers on Saturday, especially if no Porzingis. And then generally, they're not going against quite as many big teams. So Cauley-Stein certainly won't be popping like he did today. And then after that, Tim Hardaway Jr. has really good splits with Luka and without KP, so he'd probably be the next guy to step up. Also, Dorian Finney-Smith, we know he would play a ton, especially with Kleber hurt. They really need a lot of him for defense. Not really into Dwight Powell or anything like that. We saw some J.J. Redick minutes late, and as expected, I mentioned this previously, that Jalen Brunson's minutes may not spike against a bigger team. We know Rick Carlisle is very matchup dependent with his secondary rotation players. Lakers can't get the win here, but AD does return, gets 17 minutes, shot at a ton. I thought he looked alright, a little rusty, but I thought he looked kind of fluid out there. Nothing really to take away from there. Andre Drummond and Dennis Schroeder, big games from them. After the game, Frank Vogel said it was one of Dennis Schroeder's best games, 25 and 13 from him. Big impact from Andre Drummond with 19 boards, 14 points. Certainly expect him to kind of carry the front court minutes. Next to AD, we know AD is going to be ramping up for a while. But also KCP, great game. Nothing really to read into on that one. To the ads page, not a lot. It's mostly just Kristaps related. So I got Tim Hardaway Jr. up top. Tristan Thompson, he's been playing great. Don't really expect Robert Williams to be back yet. Not much of updates on him. Like Dorian Finney-Smith after THJ. Mo Bamba, we'll see what happens with Wendell Carter Jr. I don't think he's going to be out that long, but we know Bamba's got that backup role locked up, so that's good as well. Jackson Hayes, if you want a spec ad on Steven Adams. Willie Cauley-Stein I mentioned as well. And yeah, Romeo Langford. I think that he played pretty well. He obviously not going to do too much statistically, but more for stream. That's it. 10 minutes. Catch you guys later.